dreamed up by money men as against something for football fans.
We're doing this to save football, which is in a critical...
Are you saving football? Get out of here.
Climate crisis. Sky News understands the UK plans to set a new target to reduce emissions. Hospitals at breaking point. New lockdown in Delhi as India is put on the UK's travel red list. We'll bring you the latest live. The world is watching. Protests at court as the George Floyd trial hears its closing arguments.
There's a potential shake-up of banking regulation looming. I'll have all the details.
Looking for new leads. The appeal to find the owners of more than 80 stolen dogs discovered at a traveller's site.
Some warm sunshine across England and Wales today, but across the northwest it's cloudier with a little rain. And as this seeps southwards, it will introduce some chilly air for all of us. Quite frosty nights to come, actually. More details before 12:30.
A very good morning to you. A red card for the Super League from the government this morning, who insists it must be stopped. The Education Secretary has told this programme it's nothing more than a scheme dreamed up by money men. The boss of the Super League, though, says it's going to save football. But when we spoke to the Education Secretary about the plans to do with Super League, what they're going to do about it, we also asked him about putting India on the travel red list and why that's not happening sooner. And we got his thoughts on climate change and the big announcement coming from government today. We began, though, by asking him about the Super League row.
This is a Super League that must be stopped because it's just simply not fair, it's not right. Football is rooted in the communities that clubs have grown up in, and it's there for the fans, it's there to be part of that community, and this Super League looks as if it would really destroy that, but also the key core element of football, which is competition. Because
it would destroy the Premier League.
Premiership, it's not just a battle for the top, it's also a battle for survival at the bottom. And this seems to have been dreamed up by money men as against something for football fans. And that's why the Prime Minister is so opposed to it.
And yet, you will have heard in our report that Florentino Perez saying that this is about saving football.
Well, in fairness, he was bound to say that, wasn't he? And what we are wanting to do is put the interests of fans right at the heart of this, but the interests of the whole game of football at the heart of this. And that's not something that these proposals for a European Super League is doing. It's ignoring communities, it's ignoring the competition that exists in the game of football. And that's why the Culture Secretary yesterday in the House of Commons made it absolutely clear the steps that the government is going to be taking to ensure that this is stopped. We're going to be putting all our support behind the Football Association and UEFA in terms of their steps that they may need to take. But if they're not successful in doing that, the Culture Secretary has been absolutely clear that we won't hesitate to take further steps in order to ensure that this European Super League won't go ahead.
Well, he wasn't clear, though, was he? I mean, he's speaking yesterday, Oliver Dowden said the government will do whatever it takes to stop the league. Well, what can the government actually do?
Well, Oliver Dowden, the Culture Secretary, set out a number of steps. The first step of that is actually working with the FA and UEFA in order to find a solution within the football family. And obviously that's the preferred option. And
Oliver said nothing last year.
Back from the proposals that they have put forward. If that's something that isn't going to happen, the Culture Secretary made it absolutely clear in the House of Commons that we'd look at every single option in order to stop this moving forward. And we're focusing on the initial stages in supporting the FA, supporting UEFA to stop this going ahead. But you cannot be clearer, the Culture Secretary couldn't have been clearer about the government's commitment to ensure that this doesn't proceed, including the announcement of Tracy Crouch leading the fan-based review.
Yeah, but with all due respect, I mean, look, a lot of football fans will be pleased to hear you say what you've said, but it doesn't. It still leaves that very big question: what in reality can the government do? Yes, You've got the Tracy Crouch review. Yes, you're talking to the FA and fans representing